Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra podcast with Jay and Bay, the #1 source for competitive Legends of Runeterra news and information. If you're looking for the best decks to play right now, be sure to check us out on Twitter at Master Runeterra or in our Discord. And if you want to take the next step in leveling up your game, check out our Runeterra team on Patreon, where we do weekly learning calls and one-on-one coaching. Now strap in and grab yourself some Poro snacks, because we are about to start Mastering Runeterra.
Welcome back, everyone, to another Mastering Runeterra deck tech with Jay and Bay. This time we've got Thresh Nasus. We are going to go over how this deck works. We're going to go over each one of the cards and why they're in the deck and how you use them. Then we're going to cover the popular matchups in the meta, the ones you're most likely to face, and how to play against those, what's important, how that all works. Then we're going to do some Mulligan exercises against those same decks, which cards to keep, which cards to throw back, and why, what you're looking for. And then we're going to play a couple games on the ladder on my account, currently sitting at like 500 LP. Wish it was like a week ago when I was top 10, but I've dropped down to top 20. Darn, but we're going to play against some of the best on the ladder. And that's all I think we have for you. What do you say, Bay?
Yes.
Well done, Bay. Well done. Your contribution to this video has been duly noted.
I still don't know what to say.
You can go now.
I don't know. You said it all. Oh, man.
I don't know what to say. My name is Bay.
My name's... Oh, poet.
I will not be doing a rap anytime soon.
Please don't. No, actually, please do. I want to see that.
Oh, man.
All right. Let's jump into it.
Okay.
So this is Thresh Nasus, obviously.
Yes.
The general game plan is to have the quick Shadow Isles aggressive start. Things like Kai Reaper, Dune Keeper, Cursed Keeper, lots of keepers. And then you sacrifice things with Butcher, Spirit Leech, Glimpse, these kind of things. And you accumulate just like a really fast, big board. Also generating slays. You get a lot of slays in combat. And then Nasus just continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Your general win conditions is you either just bully your opponent out of the game with your incredibly fast start, or if that doesn't work, you can go all the way up to Nasus, who's just this huge, monstrous threat that has to be dealt with. You can kill them with that, or you can just throw it at their face with Atrocity.
Yeah, the deck does a little bit of everything. On its basis, like you say, it's like basically an aggro deck with like, it has like one of the fastest starts like in the game, which is nuts, considering that it also has one of the best end games in the game, and that you just throw a giant guy at their face and combo kill them. And then it also grinds. And the deck has like a bunch of card advantage where like Glimpse
it has 6 cards in the deck that says draw 2 cards.
Yeah, very powerful. And it all synergizes together because all the slaying and the things dying activates your Thresh and buffs up your Nasus and buffs up your Kai Reaper. And so the whole deck in itself is just a synergistic beatdown combo kill machine.
It even has a counter spell.
What does the deck not do?
What more do you want?
What does the deck not do?
It does everything. It does it all.
It literally does it all.
That's why it's so good.
Yeah. Okay. Let's jump into the individual cards. We'll go over the champions first. So first up we have Thresh.
Let's go Nasus first.
Yeah, let's go. I was gonna say, yeah, good call. Let's go Nasus first. The centerpiece of the deck. So, you know, this is what was the original version of Nasus?
This is the Zoomer They Who Endure.
Zoomer They Who Endure. So for those that do not know, They Who Endure, I believe, costs 7, right?
Yeah.
And it gets +1/+1 for each
ally that's died this game.
Each ally that's died.
And it has Overwhelm, I think. I don't know. I didn't really play much back then.
It does have Overwhelm.
But yeah, that's the card.
It kicked a bunch of
Same
butt.
general archetype.
Before Hush was a thing.
And it's in Freljord.
That's right.
So you play SI Freljord.
Yeah, and
with the same like the same like Shadow Isles core though, with the butchers and the curse keepers and everything. We've got a lot more better tools now. We have like Spirit Leech, Reaper, a lot of these are in Shrima and stuff. Merciless Hunter instead of Blighted Caretaker. But it's the same like Shadow Isles self-sacrifice aggro core.
Yeah, with Nasus being a big level up because he can level up.
Because also, 6 mana is a pretty good number.
Yeah, much nicer than 7. Especially now that Atrocity costs 7. So if he costs 7, you could not do both in the same turn. And yeah, his level up, giving him Spell Shield, giving him that protection to throw him. Yeah, huge. And then of course, shrinking your opponent's units when he levels, just getting bigger is just like absurd. Card's so good. Also, he gets
+1/+1 for each slaying unit, yours and your opponent's, and he gets so big so fast.
Yes. Yeah, it's just kind of ridiculous. And then also the fact that he's a champion, whereas the Adrian is not, means that we can pull him out with Thresh, which is our other champion. Thresh doing all kinds of work in this deck. So a 3/6 challenger for 5 is like, those are just big stats on their own.
He's a big dude.
Yeah, he's a big butt.
A chunky guy.
Yeah.
He's hard to get through.
Yeah, and so he says, if he sees 6 units die, he levels up to a 4/7, becomes even bigger, and then lets you grab a Nasus out of your deck or hand, put it onto the field, attacking, which is kind of absurd. And so between all of your different units that you have and ways of sacrificing things, Rite of Calling, Vile Feasting their things, Glimpsing your own things, Black Spearing their things, Rite of Negation sack a thing, Atrocity maybe killing 2 things, Spirit Leech killing stuff. Butcher everything. Killing stuff, the whole deck basically.
Combat.
Just combat, things knocking each other.
Thresh is gonna flip. He flips very easy.
Yeah, and he's also like pseudo removal because he can go grab.
He's a challenger.
He can challenge other units. So just literally the perfect card to complement Nasus.
Fits into this deck so well.
There was a period of time when we talked about it just being a Thresh deck. Like this is actually just a Thresh deck last season. When you just wanted to level Thresh, because nobody was really playing things that could stop that. And so you kind of turbo level Thresh.
Yeah.
And then once you pull out a free Nasus, it was kind of just like game over.
It was the game over. Yeah. Now it's a little different. Because Azir is so popular and Thresh Nasus is so popular, you see a lot more removal that can handle both of them. A lot of Vi's and a lot of Culling Strikes running around right now. Whereas before we weren't really seeing that. So it's less of an all-in on Thresh. Like before you could play Thresh on turn 5 and be almost guaranteed he's going to survive. Now it's not quite the same. But the deck is still incredibly, incredibly powerful. Definitely the top 2 deck in the game right now. Thresh Nasus and Aurelia Azir.
Yeah. Yeah, like you say, though, he doesn't flip as much as he used to. Even against Aurelia Azir, he'd flip all the time because he'd be forced to throw a bunch of units at it. But now they're a little bit faster after the nerfs, which is weird. Yeah,
I know,
but that's the world we live in. Okay, moving on now to the units. So first up, we got Ravenous Butcher. So this is a 0 mana 3/2 classic. You really want to be pairing the Butcher with Curse Keeper. We're gonna jump around here a little bit. But basically, this is like it's a free slay. So he sacrifices something, and you basically have a free 3/2. Ideally, again, with the Curse Keeper, that turns into a 4/3, but also the Fading Icon makes an extra 0/1, and Doomkeeper makes extra 1/1. Those are all good targets. They want for this Ravenous Butcher. If Ravenous Butcher wasn't a card, this deck would be a lot worse. Like literally,
you have to play Wings in the Wave, which is like
it's just not the same.
And sometimes you see like 1 or 2 in a lot of lists, but it's not like the 0 mana is so important because it enables like the Reaper or Doomkeeper on 1 into Curse Keeper Butcher on 2, which is just like insane.
Yeah,
like that start is so fast.
Yeah, I'm looking for one of my 2 drops of the Fading Icon or the Curse Keeper on 2 with a Ravenous Butcher every single game. That's like literally.
Yeah, and I will mulligan like everything else pretty much to get there.
Yeah.
I'm looking for like 1 drop Butcher or 2 drop. That's what I want every single game.
That's like the nut draw, yeah. And it's really difficult for decks to deal with that. Most of them can't, especially if you have any sort of backup.
And importantly, if you put such a strong aggressive start out there, your opponent has to take a lot of resources, both time and cards, mana and cards, to deal with that start, which then enables you to slam one of your champions, and they can't deal with it because they expended their resources. They don't have enough mana. They already used their removal spells, right? So when you play that Thresh, when you play the 8/8 Nasus, like your opponent just cannot afford to take the time or use the cards to deal with both things. That's why it's so important to get that aggressive start, because without it, you're going to play a Thresh and they have all the time in the world to kill it. They're just going to thermal beam it for 8 and not care. But if you play Thresh and you have 4 other units on board, you're attacking for 12 and they're at 10, like they can't do that. They don't have that time.
Yeah. And so the big thing here is instead of going like 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, being able to double spell on turn 1 or 2 is what allows you to like push that extra damage. Because a deck like, I don't know, Ezreal Draven or a lot of other decks, they can just play their own 1 drop or their own removal on that same curve, and then you're not actually getting ahead. Whereas with the Butcher being 0, it allows you to play 2 spells in 1 turn that are often bigger than your opponent's units or the amount of damage they can deal. And so you're always going to be that 1 step ahead of them for the rest of the game if everything's trading equally. So yeah, Butcher, fantastic card. Play the full 3. I've seen people go down to 2. Just play 3. Card's great. Next up, we got Buckeye Reaper, one of the newer additions to the deck. Man, does this card do work? Like,
this card's insane.
A 1/2 fearsome for 1. You're like, it doesn't seem like
kind of innocuous. Yeah,
not a big deal. But it gets +1/+0 for each thing you've slain. And so typically what happens is this will come down on turn 1 and it will just start growing immediately. You'll get, maybe you got a Butcher on turn 2, so now it's got 2 power. You attack in with it always on the far right, so that way that when your units are trading with your opponent's units, you get those slays, and then it buffs up. So, if you go turn 1 Reaper into turn 2 any other unit with a Butcher, it's now got 2 power. Damage. It's probably going to trade with something else is going to trade. So up to 3. You're hitting them for 3 with a 1 drop, and then it just goes up from there. It just gets crazier and crazier.
Fearsome.
And it has fearsome.
It's not just going to get like chumped out, right?
Yeah.
It's getting blocked by something with 3 or more power, and then it's going to trade because it like gets so big. This card does so much work in this deck.
I've blocked opposing Nasus with it, and have them be like trade, have them be like the same size. So they tried to try to do something to make theirs bigger at the end, but I made my Reaper bigger. Like the card's just absurd. Very, very good.
I've gone like Reaper trade with Thresh. I had a Reaper trade with like Eclipse Dragons. Like they get large.
It's one of the main reasons that Aurelia Azir is such a good matchup.
Yes, Reaper on 1 is incredibly important. Well, Reaper early, not necessarily on 1, because if you're attacking on 1, Doomkeeper's better. But it's so good because you want to be you want to put them on the back foot as fast as possible, because then they have to take time to they have to block, they have to bounce things just to stay alive. And if they're doing that, they're not just blade dancing over and over again. And Reaper is the most mana efficient way to do that, especially because there aren't a lot of ways to block Fearsome in that deck.
Yeah, 100%. Great card. Next up, we have the other 1 drop, Doomkeeper. So Doomkeeper is fantastic on turn 1, like you were mentioning. It gets in for 4 damage, which is absurd. Or your opponent has to trade and then take some damage, which is also great. You're getting slays and pushing damage, all good. After turn 1, though, it drops in value quite a bit. You start the token now becomes like Ravenous Butcher Food, or becomes a play that I make a lot is on turn 5. I'll play it and then Spirit Leech it.
Doomkeeper Leech, yeah.
Yeah.
How often do you go Doomkeeper Butcher on 1? Do you make that play?
Very little. Almost
I don't like
not.
that play either.
No, I hate that play. In fact, that's kind of a play out of desperation. I'm trying to think of some of the situations where I would do that, but no. What I do typically, so that means I have no 2 drop. Because I'd rather go Fady Icon, hit
because
that.
You'd much rather sacrifice from the 2 drops.
Much rather hit
Butcher
the Curse Keeper.
You're not hoping to get Butcher out. You're hoping to use Butcher to get value out of other things. It's you're not playing. The goal is not to cheat out a Butcher, right? The goal is to use Butcher to like sacrifice the Curse Keeper.
It
like,
somewhat is.
to pump up your Reapers.
It somewhat is to get there, but like not.
Yeah,
but not to the point of like
yeah.
you're only doing one more damage by sacrificing the token, right? The token's gonna hit for 2, Butcher's gonna hit for 3. But like, you might as well just hit him for 2 and like you can get value out of the Butcher, like you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I will use the Sand Soldier token for Rite of Calling.
Yeah.
Pretty often, which we'll get to in a little bit. Yeah, Dune Keeper's probably the best 1-drop in the game right now.
Good to note that. Oh, sorry, you go.
I was going to say outside of maybe Sparring Student in only one deck, but yeah, Dune Keeper's insane.
Yeah. On the draw, I'll mulligan it away fairly often. I don't like it on 2.
On the draw means you're attacking on 2.
Yeah, it means you're attacking on 2. Right, old Magic school.
Magic players.
Another thing to note is that the Sand Soldier tokens, when they disappear at end of turn, they count for a Thresh kill. Blades do not, though, because they obliterate or anything else that obliterates. So when you're doing your blocks and stuff, make sure you're always checking the eye. Yeah, so Dune Keeper very good. Attacking on like in your opener, attacking turn 1, definitely what you want to see. Next up, Fading Icon, another newer addition. Card does a lot of work. So hitting for 3, very relevant. Blocking Fearsomes, very relevant.
Blocking, Fading Icon, I think is the better blocking card because it blocks very well on curve. Like you can often trade it for like a Sump Dredger or something, or maybe even like Merciless Hunter type stuff, and then it gives you the fodder. Curse Keeper is definitely the better aggressive card because it makes a 4/3 and enables you to like sacrifice it immediately with like Butcher or something. But yeah, Fading Icon, it's a great role player. You're not like extraordinarily stoked about this card, but I will keep it in most of my, if I don't have another 2-drop, like I'm keeping this in every single opening hand.
Yeah. 100%. You need a 2-drop. So the next 2-drop is Curse Keeper, which I kind of want to talk about these like all together, which is the best 2-drop. It's insane. A 4/3 on turn 2 is absurd. When you get what you're looking for is Curse Keeper, Ravenous Butcher. This is what you want every single time. You get this every game. So typically, if I have one piece, I'll try to mulligan for the other piece.
For the other one, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the thing. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 cards are what I want most of my hand to be full of. You don't really want 2-drops. 1 is totally fine, unless maybe you have 2 Butchers or something. After you have Curse Keeper Butcher, then you want the Reaper or the Doom Keeper if you're on the play. Butcher into Icon is totally fine also. So like a turn 1, 1-drop, turn 2, Butcher into Icon. I'll mulligan basically everything else out of these 5 cards.
This is something that took me a bit to figure out when Thresh Nasus was first around. You know, you'd keep the Thresh, maybe you'd even keep Nasus because that's what the deck's about. But you have to have that quick aggressive start like we were talking about before. And what you really want is you want to get these quick slays and you want to get this damage in, and then you want to cap it off with some of your other things, right? You want your curve to end on a Spirit Leech or a Thresh or something. That way you're just like, you're double spelling like as quickly as turn 1. You're just like, bam, 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 bam. Okay, Thresh. And then, all right, if you kill all my things, I'm going to level Thresh and I'm going to get this Nasus. If your hand is too clunky, you have too many Merciless Hunters and Spirit Leeches and Atrocities and your champions, you're not going to be able to put out enough pressure. You're not going to be getting those slays you really need.
Yeah, 100%. And also all the time, you're going to be able to put pressure on them. Like when you do go, it's not that uncommon to go Reaper, Curse Keeper, Butcher, and then like there's not too
basically
many times.
Kill them.
Yeah, there's not too many times you lose when you just get that start. Not saying it doesn't happen, but
you followed up with a Merciless Hunter or a removal spell, and you are looking pretty good.
Yeah, so next up we have Merciless Hunter, which we talk about all the time how busted this card is, but I really dislike generally having it in my opener. Going like Reaper, Fading Icon, Merciless Hunter, that is like not a winning line. No. Like it seems kind of good, or even Doomkeeper.
Seems insane,
Icon
right?
Hunter.
You're curving out,
baby. That's
not what you want.
It's not what you want. Your opponents are going to be able to stop that opener pretty easily. It's not the worst in the world. Don't get me wrong. Like you still win games. It's great, but it's not doing the busted thing that the deck can do that you're trying to aim for. So don't keep Merciless Hunter typically in your opener. unless you like already have. Like,
You gotta have a really good reason for it.
Yeah, like I guess,
Or like, yeah, maybe your hand's like Butcher, Reaper, Keeper. Like you're there,
and then
maybe you can
even then, I'm still like
I still don't want.
I
still
want
mulligan it,
I want a
yeah.
Spirit Leech, I want a Glimpse, maybe I want a Thresh.
Even like I'd rather have like Thresh, yeah. Merciless Hunter is one of those cards that I don't want to keep in my mulligan, but I'm happy to draw again after I mulligan.
Yeah, basically the rest of the deck
Right?
is that.
That's exactly what it is. I want to increase the chances that I high roll my opponent as much as physically possible. And then when I don't, the rest of the deck is there to like pick up the slack later in the game. So like don't hamstring yourself. Like stop keeping Spirit Leech, mulligan your Merciless Hunters, don't keep your champions. Get rid of them. Look for these incredibly explosive starts. Now there are like if I will keep a Thresh against like a Zerarelia relatively often. If the rest of my hand complies, like there are niche situations. I'm sure some people don't agree with that. Like some people probably wouldn't keep the rest in that matchup, and I think that's totally fine. But like you really, really, really want to be getting out to this fast start.
Yeah. I don't keep Thresh anymore. I used to back when it flipped all the time. Yeah. Like before the nerf, it always flipped. And I was just happy to see it because I knew I was going to flip it and I was going to grab my Nasus. Now, every single time when I drop a Thresh or a Nasus, I'm like, Homecoming is game over. Every single time.
You lose. Yeah. The deck is just faster now.
Yeah. So I'm not saying it's wrong to keep it at all. I'm just saying that's currently where I'm at. That could change.
Yeah. The card I want the most in a Zerarelia matchup, which we'll get into way more later, is Reaper. Bakai Reaper.
Bakai. Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah. Sorry about the names. Yeah, very, 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 very good. Every time I go Reaper,
we'll get into that when we talk about.
So yeah, there's some interesting ones also that I want to touch on when we get to. Okay, so Spirit Leech again, you don't want it in your opener. Super happy to draw into it though. Typically, when you slam it down, happy to hit a Curse Keeper. Sometimes on turn 5, you'll wait, go Dune Keeper, hit the token, hitting the fading icon, extra things. So it's just very good card, very, very good card. 4/1 for 4. Draws you 2, just keeps the gas flowing, keeps more slays, digs deeper into whatever card you need. That's the thing. With this and Glimpse, you're able to just dig. That's why you don't really need to keep all these other cards, because you're going to see a bunch of your deck. You're gonna draw into them, and then you're just also going to draw into them. You're going to have more like card drawing like spells to go through. Next up, we also have Rite of Calling. So like, hey, you threw back those champions. Well, guess what? You're basically playing like 4 or 5 copies of each. Like Thresh gets Nasus, Rite of Calling gets Thresh or Nasus. You're gonna draw a bunch of cards. So that's why it's typically not too big of a deal. Like you're not too concerned about fighting them later on.
Try not to Rite of Calling when your opponent can remove the unit.
Yes.
Giving them a free 2-for-1.
If they kill the unit that you're sacrificing, it does get countered. Same with Rite of Negation. So either wait until they're tapped out or that they can't respond, or just use the gem. Use the safe route, which is something that happens a lot.
You do it a lot, yeah.
Yeah. Next up, these two are like the kind of asterisks for me. Vile Feast and Glimpse Beyond. I'm interested to get your thoughts. So Vile Feast, been around for forever, classic spell, right? Kills something, gives you something to sacrifice.
Anti-aggro stuff. Kill something, gets you something to sacrifice.
Gains you a little bit of life, pops a spell shield, all kinds of good stuff. So what do you think of keeping that against Aurelia Azir?
I will keep it sometimes, but only if the rest of my hand like kind of works out. Like if my hand is like Curse Keeper, Butcher, Reaper, Vile Feast, then I'll keep the whole hand.
Yeah.
But if my hand's like Merciless Hunter, Spirit Leech, Reaper, Vile Feast, then I'm not sure if I can afford to keep it.
Yeah.
I probably would. Reaper is really important to me, but it's tough. I am open to keeping Vile Feast in my opening hand, but I have to have a really good reason for it.
Yeah, so basically it's Aurelia Azir. They're the 2/1 elusive and the student. Both just do massive amounts of damage. Yeah. The problem is that they have a bunch of ways to stop that. They have Nopify. They have the pump spell.
Shapestone. They have all the
bounce spells that return it to their hand. They have Homecoming. So it sucks, but at the same time,
kind of good.
Yeah, on their turn, or on your turn, you could do it, and then the pump's not as important, and like sometimes you can, if they're like not particularly good, or if they're squeezed into a spot, they might have to homecoming, or like they're typically,
which is so good. Yeah,
they're typically
so
like the better the
no value.
Yeah, the better the player they are about like playing around it and stuff, and I find that it's just kind of tough. So, but I think that it might still be correct to keep Vile Feast at some point once you have all the other stuff.
Yeah, I often find myself looking for Vile Feast in the matchup because I need to answer a duo.
Yeah, and then
so like, I think as long as you have like something else to do early, I think you can keep Vile Feast.
Yeah, and then against aggro decks, obviously also quite good.
Yeah.
Glimpse Beyond is a fantastic card. This card is like,
this card's been insane forever.
Just so good. So I think there's some matchups like Ezreal Draven. I think you really...
I will keep a Glimpse Beyond sometimes.
Yeah, so I think Ezreal Draven's a good one because they're using a lot of spells to kill your units, and then...
they're targeted spells, yeah.
Yeah, then you get to respond, and so it's almost like it's for free. Like, it's almost like you didn't sack a unit because they used a card, and you had a card, so you're just like... It's like draw 2. It's not like sack 1, draw 2. It basically just becomes draw 2. Also, you know, it can become hard to get slays against them when you really want slays. So that's one where I keep Glimpse. Pretty good in the mirror also. Does a lot of work. It like throws off
one-sided slays in the mirror are very important.
Yeah, anytime you can get a slay that isn't like trading units and puts you up a slay, can be very advantageous if you're like Nasus is bigger than their Nasus. Again, when you keep it though, not 100% sure. It really depends kind of on the texture of your hand.
I pretty much only keep it against Ezreal Draven, I think.
Yeah, I've never kept it in the mirror, just to be clear. I've only kept it against Ezreal Draven as well. And again, only when I had some other
when
early...
you can.
some other early stuff.
I'm not going to mulligan the rest of my hand and keep Glimpse.
Exactly.
I need to make sure I have those early drops.
Exactly. So those are like the little caveats for these ones when we said only keep this stuff. There's like there's always exceptions to every rule.
Sometimes, yeah,
right?
Always exceptions.
Next up we have Black Spear. Card just does work. One of the main use cases, it kills a lot of champions. Kills lots of champions, and one of the main ways that I use it is with Thresh, killing opposing Threshes, trying to get some damage on it, and then Black Spearing their Thresh. One of the main reasons that I typically don't pull units with my Thresh, I try to like
in the mirror.
In the mirror. I try to let my opponent make a mistake, or I might have to sometimes. But yeah, that's a big use case. Just killing champions, basically. Ezreals, Jinxes, Dravens, Aurelias.
That's basically what it's there
finishing off things like an Azir or a Thresh or whatever. Very, very good card. Wasn't always played in the deck.
No.
Happy to see it. Again, a card that you want later on. Rite of Negation as a one of. I was playing 0 for a long time, and then I just kept losing the mirror when I would like go for the kill with Atrocity, and they would just have the right, and I would not, and I would be sad. So I was like, okay, you got to play at least 1. You could play 2. I think 1's where I'm at right now.
1's fine.
If you were playing only mirror, would you want 2?
You might want to.
I think you probably want 2 then, right?
I'd probably want 2. Yeah. Oh God.
No laugh track.
The reason I like the one of right is because the matchups where you don't want it are like really fast matchups where you don't see a lot of cards, and the matchups where you do want it are the really slow matchups where you see most of your deck. The mirror, Ezreal Draven, and TLC mostly. So your odds of finding a one of are like really good when you've drawn 25 cards over the course of a game.
Yeah, good point.
And that's when it's most valuable, is like right at the very end of the game, right? Your turn 9, your turn 10.
Right.
When they like cast their Atrocity. What are you smiling about?
He said right twice.
Stop it.
Oh
my God. Right? Yeah, right. Anyway, yeah. So I like to have those one-ofs that are like trump cards in late game matchups.
Especially when everyone else is playing it, like in the mirror and stuff. And yeah.
You're gonna have to.
Even though, you know what? Even against like Aurelia Azir, I've kind of noticed like, I'm like, oh, hey, Homecoming's not so scary now. I have this right that I can back up.
Yeah, the card's not bad.
Yeah,
Or
Ezreal
you write
Draven.
the Decimate or something.
Yeah, Nasus, exactly. Yeah, against Burn. What happened?
Get the Culling Strike on your
I
Thresh.
had an opponent attack with a bunch of the 2/1 that pings you for 1. And so they like attacked
and
with
you ride a negation.
Yeah, so attacked with 2 of those, and they threw a burn
like,
spell at my face, and I was like, woo! All 3, baby. They GG'd me too, and I was like, nope.
Got him.
Got him.
Didn't see that coming.
So yeah,
good. I like to run 1.
Yeah, again,
can run 2.
Be careful with stacking a unit, because if they kill the unit, they counter your right.
It's better to be safe most of the time.
Yeah, so just be very mindful of that. And the atrocity.
Have you?
Oh, sorry.
Have you ever sacrificed? Like, have you ever used Rite of Negation for no value just to get the slays and kill your opponent?
Yeah, you don't. There doesn't have to be something on the stack. You can just.
Doesn't have to be a spell. Yeah.
Right to kill. Yeah, if you need to pop that Curse Keeper and get in for 4 or whatever it is, hit for 1 more with your Nasus and your Reaper.
Attacking with your Reapers and Nasus, just use it. I've used it to flip a Thresh. It's dumb, but like, hey, if it works, it's not stupid.
You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. Yeah. Okay, last card up. 2 atrocities. Combos with Nasus kills your opponent. Card's good.
That's what it does.
They nerfed it to 7. It's still freaking good.
Still good.
Good.
Yeah, not much to say.
Yeah.
Does as advertised.
Yeah, in a pinch, you might kill a unit with it. Typically, that's a lot of desperation. You probably lose a lot of those games.
Yep.
You could do the old...
I have atrocitied Reapers a lot.
Yeah.
To kill my opponent.
Yeah, one of your things into one of their things to make a nice big fat Nasus is another thing. Or level a Thresh. Those happen.
It's 2 slays.
It's 2 slays. Yeah, assuming everything dies.
Yep. Good card.
Good card. Okay. So that's the deck. Probably know it by now. Let's be real.
You've seen it once or twice.
Yeah, sure. a little bit rogue. Okay, let's talk about the matchups.
Let's do that.
First up, let's go Aurelia Azir. One of the main reasons to kind of play this deck is it's kind of the only deck that seems to have a decent Aurelia Azir matchup and doesn't just fold to everything else in the meta.
To everything else, yeah.
Yeah. So the matchup has actually gotten a lot closer since the nerf.
Yeah. Which is so funny.
Which is really weird. It used to feel like a slam dunk. When I was playing on the ladder, I'd be like, come on, Aurelia Azir, come on. And now I'm like, oh, Aurelia Azir, I hope I win. Like, it's much closer because they've gotten lower to the ground and more aggressive.
Which makes Thresh worse, which was your like main way of winning.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so... it's,
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the matchup's tough. It's like you do the same thing basically every game. You definitely want Reaper on 1, and you want to try and beat them down. And a lot of times you'll get them down to like 9 or something, and then just the tide turns, and this wave of 1/1 starts hitting you.
Blade dance.
And a lot of times you're forced to slam a Thresh or a Nasus, but you just completely tap out. And it's like, oh, if they have Homecoming here,
just
like...
crossing your fingers. You're like,
game
Homecoming
over.
I lose. Homecoming I lose. Yeah.
But...
yeah.
Sometimes they don't have Homecoming, and sometimes they're a little bit slow at the gates. Vile Feast for like Student is kind of annoying. The 2/1 Elusive does hits you for so much damage.
You don't have any other way to stop it. You have Vile Feast, 2 Black Spear if you can make it work, and then you can attack it with like Hunter or Thresh, but that assumes a lot of things go right for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, Vile Feast is pretty important to hit duo with. Because you can block as much as you want, but that thing's going to get
timing the removal, very important because they have so many spells that bounce back to their hand.
So many bounce spells.
You don't want to just activate that. You would rather counter theirs if you can by killing their unit in response. All the challenger stuff gets a lot worse because Homecoming's able to just bounce the thing that's being challenged and like what other big thing that you're attacking with them with. And it's like, oh, you just did nothing for the turn. Hit them for no damage. And your thing's back in your hand now. So, very winnable, though.
You're behind so much mana.
Yeah, you are technically a favorite.
Yes.
Because you are beating their face down real hard, real fast, and you have a lot of things that are difficult for them to deal with. It's one of those matchups, I think, where, how skilled... I mean, both players for sure, but the Aurelia Azir player, when I get paired down against some people, I'll just smash them. And then when I get paired against like the best Aurelia Azir players, it's like, oh, life is tough. It's very close. It's very really close tough. Matchup. What else can we say? about that one?
I mean, like, it's the most important thing in the entire matchup, in my opinion, is knowing exactly what your opponent can have at all times. Like,
Yeah.
you need to know what protection they have. You need to know how Shapestone works. You need to lead and follow, retreat, return, and homecoming. Like, you need to be aware of all these and like think about how that factors into your decisions. You have to do your best to not just walk into them.
Yeah, don't just throw your removal at their stuff.
Don't just throw your removal out. Like, you will lose. Sometimes it'll work, but like if you just point it at them and go,
I hope.
Well, hope it happens. Then like, yeah, a good chance you're just gonna get blown out.
Yeah, one of the worst things is also though, because like just the one. What's the spell that's like 2 mana, return something, and then blade dances?
Lead and follow.
Yeah, so lead and follow. They want to actively get off. Like they want to cast that
card.
So if you wait with your removal, or even if you have mana up, it makes it very hard to impossible for them to do because you're just going to blow them out and basically counter the thing and kill a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So just not blinking is often the correct choice until you sort of have to. Yeah,
that's about it.
That's about it. Okay,
if you get Nasus on the board and there's no homecoming, you're gonna win.
Yeah. You would think
usually
so. They can just get you. They can just get you sometimes. There's a lot to the matchup. Look out for all the slays.
Yeah.
All the sand soldiers will activate Thresh and will activate Thresh.
Blocking the blades will also activate Thresh.
Yes, kill the blades.
You're gonna get a bunch of slays. Like, keep in mind, so especially with Azir, you have to be thinking about like, okay, this unit has only 2 toughness, so I need to block the 1/1 blades before Azir flips. This unit has 3 toughness, so I want to not block the 1/1 sand soldiers. That way I can block the 2/1 sand soldier when they blade dance or something. Like,
watch out for Aurelia. Watch out for all their stuff flips. When their stuff flips, Aurelia flips, and they get the swap the units.
Tough matchup.
The pump spell is like lots of times I've flipped in Nasus and I'm like, oh, they can't get me. All their stuff has 0 power. Then they can Shapestone stuff and double Shapestone for the win. Like we're making
it sound like the matchup's super unfavored.
Yeah, it's so funny. Well, it's tough. It's a tough matchup. It's very intricate.
Tough. Yeah,
very, very intricate.
Mm-hmm.
It'll tax you. So just play it a bunch.
Yep.
Okay, next up, let's talk about the Mirror.
Let's do that.
So the other very popular deck on the ladder. Again, I'm trying to curve out, trying to get the very fast start. But then it quickly devolves into like this weird game of chicken. Oftentimes you'll both have Thresh out. Do not throw your stuff into your opponent's Thresh.
Yeah. I will keep Thresh in this matchup if I have any sort of like early start that's not awful, because if your opponent plays Thresh on 5 and you don't, you're in a really rough spot.
Yeah, you're in a tough spot. The game can often devolve into who can level up Thresh while killing off their opponents or not letting their opponents level.
We said it before, like you recently just mentioned this, but I'm going to point it out again because people are going to forget. Don't put your Thresh in a position to get Blackspeared.
Yes.
It will basically end the game.
And don't level Threshes on your turn, so then your opponent gets to attack you.
Yeah, so then your opponent gets to attack. That one's pretty obvious, but don't do it anyway.
Yeah,
you will
even if you can kill their Thresh and level yours. If there's a level and then you kill it, that's bad. That's like typically not what you want, because then there's a chance for them to play their Thresh and attack you.
Yep.
Even it's not game over. It used to be game over if you could level your Thresh and they couldn't. Now it's not so much anymore. Watch out for Nasus Bonk is really insane. Like a lot of my opponents will just drop Nasus and I'll flip Thresh. And they're like, if you can just bonk off with Nasus, basically you should just run it out there. If you can just go
really quick.
Oh yeah. Oh, we should tell the bonk.
Nasus's champion spell, Siphoning Strike. We as a community call it bonk.
Yeah. I don't know if we do, but you and I definitely do. That's definitely
every single person I know calls it
bonk. Everyone's on the bonk train? Okay, good. You should. If you don't, now you do.
Everyone who comes to my stream calls it bonk.
Yeah.
And I just assume that's everyone.
Just bonk them.
Everyone in the entire community calls it bonk.
With a big axe, bonk.
Yep.
Right in the head.
It makes a bonk sound. So Siphoning Strike, Nasus' champ spell. It is totally acceptable and usually a good idea to just play Nasus on 6.
Yeah. Just jam that Fetty out there.
just jam them out there. Then you're threatening siphoning strike. Outside of that, the really big thing in this matchup is to try to get your Nasus bigger than their Nasus.
Mm-hmm.
So any one-sided slay you can get is really important.
Merciless Hunter.
It's not uncommon to see like to Vile Feast your own unit that they like try to Vile Feast.
Yeah.
You
prevent a slay from them and
up.
Get a slay for you.
And you get a slay, and then you get the spider, which you can slay with like Spirit Leech or something. Because if you both on 6 go Nasus and your Nasus is bigger,
they can't bonk.
They can't bonk.
And you can bonk.
You can bonk.
And once you bonk, your Nasus is all your stuff is way bigger. Now now they're way behind in the slay race. Doesn't even matter.
Mm-hmm. And this is one of the matchups where Rite of Negation is at its best because it can counter Bonk, it can counter Atrocity. Those are pretty much the only cards you really counter with it. But
important glimpses, Vile Feast, Black Spears at the right time.
Yep. But having one, because the game often goes into like a stalemate position on board. You just kind of stare at each other with like a Thresh, and so when you have access to like the Bonk, or you can Atrocity your Nasus, or maybe your opponent, like maybe you're both sitting there and you're both at 12 and both your Nasuses are like 20 power, and just neither of you can go under mana because like the first person who casts Atrocity loses.
Yeah, because you Atrocity to response or something.
Yeah, exactly. So Rite of Negation is really like the trump card there.
Yeah, you need to be setting up. Like you need to be like trying to maneuver the game state into your favor slowly. There's almost always like it becomes this like it's like in like wrestling or something where you see like two people like locked into combat and they're slowly just trying to like get like a little bit lower than their opponent and just try to maneuver. Exactly it doesn't look like anything's happening, but you're just slowly trying to maneuver so that you can like just like edge them out kind of thing. Getting
you cast Bonk and you get the pin.
ticking Thresh up like just enough on their turn so that you can flip it on your turn and attack and get a Nasus going. It's a very delicate dance of there's a lot of things happening all the time with Thresh levels, Nasus, Bonk, Atrocity, Rites, sacrificing when to Glimpse, when to Vile. If you can counter your opponent's Glimpse with a Vile, or a Black Spear, all of these things. It's a very intricate matchup. But I think we touched on a lot of the important parts.
Yep. One quick thing, try not to throw your Vile Feast out unprompted for no reason.
Yes.
Like if they have a fading icon, don't just Vile Feast it into 2 open mana because they will glimpse it and you will be far behind. It's not just the cards and the tempo that you're losing. It's like we talked about it before. They get a slay, you don't, and you're down a card. Well, you're down like 2 cards. So you want to be saving stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's those little things. Those add up in this matchup.
Yeah, you want to be very reactionary. You definitely want to be reacting. Also, hey, like all of a sudden your opponent doesn't have any mana. Cool. Now you can Rite of Calling one of your units that you want to get rid of. Free slay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and exactly.
Yeah, it's like you both just like play as aggressively as possible until like turn 4.
And then you get that weird stalemate. Yeah.
And then you play Thresh and everyone just goes,
now what? Breaks.
We just everything just stops.
You attack me. No, you attack me. No, you attack me.
You attack first.
Because whoever attacks first levels their opponent's Thresh and then gets attacked by a Thresh and a Nasus.
And that's basically how the mirror works.
Yep. Okay. Let's see. What should we do next?
Let's talk about some Ezreal Draven.
Ezreal Draven, very close matchup. So this one, again, as the Thresh Nasus player, you want to slam them hard and fast. You want to just keep slamming units into them. They'd have no heal. So you want to, what you're ultimately trying to do is getting your Nasus's power up above their life total and then fighting an Atrocity. And then if they ever tap to 0, not 1, they tap to 0 mana, you can drop your Nasus and throw it in their face. Or you can go to turn 10 with 3 spell mana and just do it all in 1 turn. If they have even 1 mana available, though, and you play Nasus, they can then Thermo Beam for 1, and then they can now, because they have that 1 damage on your Nasus, they can now kill it with Scorchers. And you basically can't Atrocity. Even if it flips, it is so easy for them to just hit it with 1 spell and Scorchers.
Just stack Flock and Scorched Earth and get it.
Yeah.
The main way, we talked about this in our most recent podcast episode, which will come out before this, I believe.
Yes.
often, like, you want to get as many slays as possible. You slam them early, and then on turn 10, then you switch gears. On like turn 6 to 9, you just survive.
Yeah.
You slow them down. You get your slays when you can. You get your value, and then on turn 10, you play a Nasus that's bigger than their life total, and you immediately atrocity it.
Yeah.
If your opponent puts anything on the stack, atrocity it. They just cannot touch it.
Let's go.
And you win the game.
Yeah.
I think you got muted or something. Oh, no, you're back.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And so that doesn't always happen. Sometimes they get you before you get to turn 10. If you have multiple Nasuses, feel free to throw some of them out there. Because sometimes they don't put damage on it, and all of a sudden you just have one chilling.
You just kill them. Yeah. They didn't draw Scorched Earth or something.
Glimpse.
Try not to get your Thresh Culling Striked, but it will happen.
It just always gets Culling Strike. But yeah, basically
get Culling Strike.
Have Glimpse ready. If you're able to go Nasus and then bonk, then your Thresh is above Culling Strike, and it's absurd. Glimpse is insane in the matchup.
So good.
Because they're going to try and kill your thing with spells, and then you get to Glimpse, and again, it's like what you said earlier, it's basically a free draw too. And it counts as a slay, which is what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
so,
and it keeps them from leveling Ezreal.
Yes. Yeah, it just does literally everything you want. Spirit Leech is also great to just churn through your deck, get you slay, get you more gas. Sometimes you get the Nasus out, but you don't have Atrocity. That can be a problem. So it's a very close matchup.
Rite of Negation. Yes, very close matchup. Rite of Negation is essentially a freebie Nasus. Like, if you draw Rite of Negation, you're safe to play Nasus, because the only way they can kill Nasus is through multiple spells. So, like, you can play it, just keep up Rite, and then when they cast Scorched Earth, you just counter that. And you'll get, like, 3 or 4 spells out of them trying to kill your Nasus, which frees up, like, the next one. Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, they typically only play 2 Scorched Earth, so a lot of times if you can counter 1, that might just be good enough.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so what else is popular? A-Soul decks. Let's go, like, dragons.
I mean, the big one is early start, as always. We're literally always going to say that. And then player on Hush as much as you can.
Yeah, they basically always have it.
They always have it.
By the time like, turn 7 that you're attacking with the Nasus or whatever, like, they're going
to have it.
Yeah.
Yep. But it's usually correct to just attack with Nasus anyway. Because unless you have Bonk, if you don't have the Nasus champion spell, then it's usually correct just to, like, make them have it. But if you have the Nasus champion spell, you can use it to either flip Nasus or just make things bigger. Like,
you can force a Hush out of their hand.
Yeah. Often I won't, like, sometime if I can, I will use Siphoning Strike to target something with 2 toughness or less.
Yes.
2 or less health. Because even if they Hush Nasus, it still goes through.
Yeah, if you can Merciless Hunter something with 1 power, then you can attack it with the Nasus.
Then send Nasus out there.
And if they Hush, then so like a Spacey Sketcher, Dragon Child, like, I don't know. There's whatever you can find.
Solari Priestess.
Zoe. That's a good thing to try.
Even if they Hush it, Nasus doesn't die. Another trick is to and you can use it in combination with the Merciless Hunter thing, is to set up a slay on your turn already so that you can hold Black Spear when you attack the Nasus.
That's right.
And then you can Black Spear what they block with. Hopefully it's not like a Screeching Dragon or Eclipse Dragon or something that can block profitably. This is where the Merciless Hunter granting vulnerable comes in. And then, you can, like, even if they, like, Hush Sharp Sight or whatever, you can just Black Spear it and Nasus stays alive. And that will often be the end of the game.
Yeah. It's a tough matchup. It's winnable, but you basically just
it's not my favorite.
You basically don't have the end game of Nasus Atrocity. That's basically what you have to do. You have to operate without that. You're like, okay, I'm just gonna try and get him. Nah, you're probably not. You try and maneuver it.
My main thought in this matchup, like what I'm keeping in my head, is I want to put my opponent to 4, because I want to make things that are not Nasus lethal to Atrocity.
Yeah.
Because then it puts so much more pressure on them.
Yeah. It's still tough because they have like single combats
tough.
and
Yeah.
concerted strikes and
Sun
stuff.
Forgers and
Light
maybe
Pain.
Star Shapings.
Yeah.
But that's basically how I approach this matchup.
Yeah.
Aggro is pretty simple, I think.
Kill
We're gonna move on from
everything.
That.
Don't let
Kill
them.
everything
Don't
that
let
moves.
them touch you. Do not just play.
No, don't get hit by
Doomkeeper,
anything.
Fading Icon. You're just wide. You want to be really wide. Yep. Don't let them hit you with damage.
You have no life gain outside of Vile Feast. So like if your aggro opponent hits you with stuff, you're going to lose because they're just going to burn you out.
And the late game is great for you.
The late game's fantastic. And you're so good at getting a board presence early, usually better than the aggro decks.
Yeah.
You play like, one drop into Fading Icon into Ravenous Butcher, and nobody's getting through that. And then the burn spells lose their oomph. Like if they don't get those creature damage in early, the burn spells aren't lethal, which gives you time to set up your Thresh and your Nasus and your kill.
Yeah, 100%. TLC is a matchup that's gotten much better. We did a versus video on it. If you want to learn more about that, check it out on YouTube. We play 5 games. It went from TLC used to slaughter Thresh Nasus to now it's more like 50-50, and Thresh Nasus might even be a tiny favorite. It's very, very, very close. It's very difficult for TLC. This is the one matchup maybe that you don't want Reaper early. You can go Deemkeeper if you're attacking on 1 because it gets in for 4, but Reaper kind of just is going to get avalanched. It just
doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, so get it out of there. You're looking for Curse Keeper. You're looking for Merciless Hunter. You want the things with 3 toughness or more.
3 toughness.
and then you would like to slam Thresh with some units in play. So that way, if they do avalanche, now your Thresh is going to level, and now they're kind of like stuck in between. They don't really have good answers to Thresh. It's like Vengeance or Ruination, if they are even playing those. That cost a bunch of mana, and you have Rite of Negation.
And Atrocity.
Yes.
Which if the early game went anywhere where you want it to, it's usually going to do quite a bit of damage.
Yeah. So the matchups, I don't mind it at all. It's much better than it used to be. Turbo Thralls, however, feels almost unwinnable. The matchup's so bad. I used to be able to get them. I like nut drew them with just like Reaper into Curse Keeper, into Butcher, into like Glimpse things when they avalanched, into like Merciless Hunter, into Thresh or something like nuts. I would just get them. And like even now I feel like it's not enough. I just like don't quite get them. They've like gotten better.
The deck plays a bunch of it plays like more AoE spells than TLC does. And it's quicker.
Got a bunch of 8/8s
to get on board
that kill you.
It's got a bunch of 8/8s, usually by like turn 7.
Can't deal with 8/8s.
They have like 2 8/8s. Yeah, and they're just very hard to get through. You don't get enough slays because they don't really play units. And then they run like 5 flash freeze effects.
Yeah.
And that makes killing with Nasus like so difficult. So yeah, that matchup is not awesome.
No, don't like that one at all. Ban that if you need to. What else?
Those are most of them.
Super popular Zoe ones. Vi is a lot closer than it used to be.
Zoe Vi is like mixing the Dragons one with Ezreal Draven.
Yeah.
It's Ezreal Draven with Hushes.
That's literally what it is, yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, let's jump over to do some mulligans.
Let's do that.
To pretend like we were playing against Aurelia Azir, and we are going to mulligan accordingly. So we have Thresh, Fading Icon, Doomkeeper, Glimpse Beyond.
So I'm definitely mulliganing Glimpse Beyond, and the question here is whether or not you mulligan Thresh. And I think I do mulligan Thresh. The Azirelia deck is just like faster now. Now that it's off the Mentor. I think what is this? Inspiring Mentor. Yeah, now that's off Inspiring Mentor, it's just a little bit faster. Like its curve stops at like 4 and it goes up to 5 on Blossoming Blade. Just keeping Thresh in my opening hand hasn't been working as well as I want it to. What I really want is like a Reaper, a Butcher, or like a Vile Feast, I think.
Yeah, so I'm 100%. I mold the champions, Thresh and Nasus. I don't keep them against Aurelia Azir anymore. I used to, like you say, Thresh used to flip all the time. It doesn't anymore. Also, if we're on the play, I'm keeping Dunekeeper, but if we're on the draw, I'm sending Dunekeeper back. Yeah, try to find...
It's just 2-1.
Exactly.
Like, you could maybe play it on turn 3. But yeah, just get rid of it.
And if I'm stuck with it in my opener, I'm playing these on turn 1 a lot more, just as a 2-1, just to get the extra damage in. Those extra like hit or that extra slay, it adds up. Because the thing, what happens is on turn 2 you're playing Fading Icon, and then turn 3 like, okay, you can play Gamekeeper as a like extra blocker or something. It's not super exciting. And then like turn 4, it's like, okay, try to get it in now, but you typically have other things you're trying to do. They have bigger units. It doesn't really get through. So we'll keep Dunekeeper Fading Icon. We'll pretend like we're on the play. We reroll the other 2. We end up with Nasus, Thresh, Dunekeeper Fading Icon. This is a rough hand. I would actually expect to lose this game a decent amount of the time just because of this. Because Nasus and Thresh really end up being kind of dead. All like they hit the board, and then your opponent homecomings, and
then they get bounced.
You're in a bad way, yeah.
And then you lose.
Yeah. To the point,
we have to hit a couple runners off the top.
Yeah, we don't have any removal. It's kind of rough. To the point now where I also really try to avoid jamming Thresh on 5. I'll look for, like, I'll try and go wider and try to play it a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go another hand. We get Ravenous Butcher, Merciless Hunter, Vile Feast, Thresh.
Okay, so I would probably mulligan Thresh and Merciless Hunter, and I would keep Butcher. How do you feel about that?
The Butcher I typically keep. You can get into some spots. Like if we were going to mulligan all 3, you can get into some spots where you just don't have anything for it and your hand gets kind of bricked.
It's just really awkward.
Yeah.
If they hit like Butcher, Spirit Leech and you're like,
Atrocity, Nasus. Yeah, just like,
yeah.
We do have the Vile Feast, though, so that at least gives us something to get the Butcher to play. Vile Feast is really good in the matchup, but it's like a bit of a wild card. Because the Aurelia Azir does have the pump spell to protect it, and they have all the spells that return their units
all the bounce
as well. Yeah. I find that less experienced opponents will play into it, and they'll get blown out by Vile Feast. But the top players, the people that know what they're doing, they're not just gonna throw their homecoming onto a 1 toughness unit that's gonna get blown out by Vile Feast. So Vile Feast, I'm a little iffy on. The elusive 2-1 is one of the ways
that's where you want to play
that you lose a lot. I'll often play Vile Feast on my own turn, so that way if they pump it, I'm not taking a bunch of extra damage. Okay, so you think you're keeping Vile Feast?
I would keep it here.
Yeah, I think here I keep it.
I like to have 1. At some point, I want to draw 1 in the game.
Yeah, if this Butcher was going back, if this was an atrocity, I might throw the Vile Feast back as well then.
Because you just want to guarantee your early start. Yeah,
exactly, yeah. Okay, so we'll reroll. Oh, we end up with Rite of Calling, Vile Feast, Merciless Hunter, Ravenous Butcher. Not the best hand for sure, not the worst hand, but really not.
But it's a Dunekeeper or a 2-drop away from being like pretty solid.
Yeah, that's exactly true.
We have a lot of hits here.
Yeah.
So not ideal, but definitely not like horrible.
Definitely fine, yeah. And like you say, yeah, you draw a 2-drop off the top, like you're looking okay. Okay, third hand. We've got Fading Icon, Ravenous Butcher, Spirit Leech, Rite of Negation.
I feel this one's pretty easy. Throw back Leech, Rite of Negation, and try to hit like Reaper, Vile Feast, even like a Merciless Hunter with this hand would work out.
Yeah.
They're too slow.
Fading Icon, Ravenous Butcher is what you want.
We're keeping 2-drop Butcher every single time in every matchup, right?
Yeah.
Like just never mulliganing that.
Yeah. I do start getting rid of the other 2-drops once I have 1 2-drop.
I will keep 1 2-drop.
Yeah. So we reroll. We get Curse Keeper and Glimpse Beyond. Again, so you do have the Butcher Curse Keeper on 2. And then, if you keep the 1 mana on turn 3, you have Fading Icon, Glimpse. Totally fine hand. Very sort of like even keel. Yeah. Against Aurelia Azir, the Ravenous Butcher Curse Keeper open is not nearly as powerful as it is against a lot of other decks where they just kind of get out-tempoed. But still, very, very keepable,
now, if we
playable
had,
hand.
Like, Reaper instead of Fading Icon or Glimpse Beyond, then like this is a real hand.
Yeah.
But it's just a little slow. So we're going to need some help off the top.
Yeah.
Not a bad starting hand at all, though.
No. Okay, so what deck is next?
Let's do the Mirror. Thresh Nasus first Thresh Nasus.
Yeah, I'm curious how other people mulligan the mirror. The mirror is one that people don't kind of forget about the mirror. Everyone they concentrate on other decks. They forget that the mirror is very important as well. Okay, so we're gonna reroll. We got Spirit Leech, Rite of Calling, Thresh, Fading Icon.
Okay, so as long as I have some sort of early presence, I do want to hear what you think about this too. As long as I have some sort of early presence, I keep Thresh in the mirror.
Yeah, so I'll just go pure aggression. And almost every matchup, the difference in games when you get that busted start and when you don't is massive. And I'm willing to kind of gamble on it, basically. Also, Thresh is not insane in the mirror. If your opponent has one or you have one, your opponent doesn't, okay, things change a little bit. But even putting any damage on it, all of a sudden opens it up to getting
he gets Blackspeared.
It gets Blackspeared, or even the Merciless Hunter can grab it. Even if Thresh can grab it if you put too much damage on it. So I'm not super. You can also find Thresh, get the 2 Rite of Calling. So I would mulligan all 3 and just keep the Fading Icon.
Okay, yeah.
So let's see.
I'm on board with that.
Let's see how it works out. So we end up with Glimpse Beyond, Vile Feast, Ravenous Butcher, Fading Icon. I think this is actually a really good hand.
Not bad.
Yes.
Not bad.
So you have
Glimpse?
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, go ahead. Glimpse. Yeah, so we have our opening, right? Fading Icon Butcher, which, as we said before, we're never mulliganing. Glimpse is pretty good in the matchup because it can give you a one-sided slay. Same thing with Vile Feast. As long as you're careful about Vile Feast, try not to just fire off your Vile Feast in the mirror into a Glimpse Beyond, because not only are you losing a card, your opponent's gaining a card, and they're getting a one-sided slay, and that's a really big deal. Because if it's Nasus' turn and you go boom 8/8 and they go boom 10/10, you're in a rough spot.
Yeah.
So be very smart with your Vile Feast.
I'm basically never Vile Feasting first, ever, unless I'm killing a Thresh, or I'm about to get run over because they have a super fast start, or I'm just forced to. I'm keeping it, trying to kill Glimpse,
or
maybe
if they tap out on 2 for Fading Icon, I'll usually Vile Feast it.
Or exactly. Anytime they tap out and you can get it through. Same with Glimpse Beyond. When they tap out below 2 mana, they can't Vile Feast. I'll start glimpsing things. Also glimpsing Ravenous Butcher, things with 2 toughness to get around the Vile Feast.
Avoid the Vile Feast, yeah.
Yeah, definitely something. So I'd be actually fine. I'm happy
good
with this hand. Yeah, totally fine. So imagine the Ravenous Butcher was a Thresh. Hand's it's not quite as hot.
We lose a lot of our aggression. We're definitely still we're more in the control seat.
Yeah. Okay. New hand. We've got Doomkeeper, Blackspear, Fading Icon, Thresh.
So I'm assuming you would mulligan Blackspear and Thresh.
Yeah. So if I'm on the play, I'm mulliganing Blackspear and Thresh. If I'm on the draw,
if I'm not on the play, I'm
mulligan Doomkeeper. Would you? Is that?
I would probably I would do the same thing, except I would also keep Thresh.
Okay. So this time, let's keep Thresh. We'll keep Fading Icon, Thresh. We'll imagine that we're on the draw. We're playing on. I guess we should tell people we're playing on evens. Yes.
On the play means you're on odds.
Attacking first. Yeah, attacking first, attacking second.
You're not.
Okay, so we keep Fading Icon, Thresh. We reroll. We end up with Nasus, Thresh, Fading Icon.
Ugh.
Yuck.
Ugh.
Right? Don't want none of that. And so this is what I'm talking about. This is the reason that that I don't keep them, because the deck draws a lot of cards with the leeches and the glimpses, and it has 2 rights. So it's you find your champions. This is a good indicator. I mulligan Thresh basically. Yeah, I always mulligan Thresh away, and I almost never am in a spot where my opponent drops a Thresh and I don't have one.
Really, it happens to me every single time.
Yeah, it rarely happens to me. So this hand, double Thresh, Nasus, Fading Icon. Whoo! You were in a world of trouble. It's not
get ran over.
Yeah. Though it's, you know what?
You can get there.
Yeah. So if your opponent for instance doesn't have a Thresh, you'd be fine. If you just get like another 3-drop, a Vile Feast, even like another 2-drop, a Leech, even you
Even like
can.
Dune Keeper.
Yeah. So this hand's
You
not
could
that bad.
stall out to Thresh Nasus. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's not great
And going
though.
like Thresh Nasus is so powerful in the mirror. If you can keep up on slays, because then you're threatening the Siphoning Strike,
Yeah.
which I think is actually the best card in the mirror. If you can get to that point,
Yeah.
like that's the card that actually ends the game.
Yeah, it's so good. That's Nasus's
Nasus's champ spell.
champ
Bonk.
spell. Yeah. Basically, if you have a
Alright,
chance to play it, you just rip it.
You just throw it out there.
Just rip it. If they have a right or the even if they atrocity, it ends up being like not that bad. Because what ends up happening is if you don't go for it and then they bonk you, you like just lose on the spot.
You're screwed. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that lots. Where I'm like, what if they have a right?
What
if they have an atrocity? And then I was like, pass to you or play some other unit. And they're like, bonk you, and I'm like, oh, I can't even bonk. I can't bonk back now. Because even if your Nasus is alive,
so big.
It's too small and their stuff's too big.
All right, was that 3 for Thresh Nasus?
I think that was, I don't know. I think that was 2. Maybe that was 3.
Okay,
let's do one more. Black Spirit, Glimpse Beyond, Merciless Hunter, Curse Keeper. I would keep the Curse Keeper and send everything else back.
Yep, I'm looking for Reaper, Butcher. I want that quick start.
So we end up with
didn't get there,
Curse Keeper, Merciless Hunter, Spirit Leech, Nasus. Yeah, it's not insane, but it's totally fine.
It's fine. We could send Curse Keeper after something with Merciless Hunter. We can Merciless Hunter after something. We can Spirit Leech Keeper. Like, we're okay. We're just a little slow.
Yeah. Typically,
this deck wants to double spell as fast as possible.
Yeah, in the mirror, it's like one person can beat down really, really hard, but it always kind of comes to that like Nasus atrocity end game at some point. And so if your opponent's beating you down really hard, but they use too many resources, they don't have like all the good late game stuff, they could be in a lot of trouble. It's like a delicate balance that you want to do between being aggressive and still have that late game action.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we got?
All right, Ezreal Draven.
Ezreal Draven. We've got Rite of Negation, Fading Icon, Black Spear, Thresh.
Only Fading Icon. You got to be out the gate really quick against Ezreal Draven. The way we talk about this a lot, the way the matchup plays out is you get a quick start, you get as many slays as possible and chunk them out. And then right about turn 7 or 8, because like Jason mentioned, you draw a lot of cards and you try to assemble Nasus plus Atrocity. In your hand, not on the board. You can play Nasus on the board earlier in the game if it gets big enough. You think you can like really do it, but once you get to that point where Nasus is bigger than your opponent's life total, and you have Atrocity, you just wait till turn 10. You play Nasus and you immediately Atrocity, and they have no way to deal with it.
Yeah, and they're also a tempo deck, so you want to kind of you can't let them just get rolling either. You have to have that early aggression.
Yeah, with like Sentries and Tri-Beam, they can definitely like they can turn the corner really fast, and we want to prevent that.
Yeah, okay, so we keep Fading Icon, send everything else back. We end up with Vile Feast, Black Spear, Fading Icon, Merciless Hunter. This is a pretty poo-poo hand. Vile Feast does almost nothing in the matchup.
Nothing.
It's like trying to find good use cases for it where you can like get a little bit of damage on something and then finish with a Vile Feast, but it's like, man, it's dead a lot. The Merciless Hunter and the Black Spear are kind of nice. They do get rid of like their champions and stuff.
They're not bad at all. I don't like we mentioned, I want to mulligan them away, but I'm not mad to see those cards like pop up again. One thing that we didn't mention is that Ezreal Draven has so much removal that they'll keep you off slays. So hand with like self slays, Butchers, Spirit Leeches like go way up in priority for me, because it's so often that like if I'm playing the Ezreal Draven side and I'm just killing everything, my opponent on turn 9 plays a 5/5/6/6 Nasus. And then you just kill it. So yeah, I really want to make sure that like just curving out's not going to be enough, most likely. I really want to make sure I have like a good start.
Yeah. Okay, another hand. We have, and that's why Glimpse Beyond is so good, because you can prevent one of their Ezreal levels up and get yourself a slay.
And get a slay, draw cards.
So
this one's interesting.
We got Spirit Leech, Ravenous Butcher, Glimpse Beyond, Atrocity.
Okay, so I want to keep Ravenous Butcher. And then I really like to have either Spirit Leech or Glimpse Beyond in my opening hand against Ezreal Draven, for the reasons we mentioned before. The card advantage is really important. The slays are really important. And you can nullify an Ezreal like tick with Glimpse Beyond. I don't want both, however. It's really easy for this hand to fall into the trap of we just don't draw fodder and can't do anything. So I think I would keep Butcher, Mulligan Atrocity, and Mulligan either Glimpse Beyond or Spirit Leech.
Yeah, so Atrocity is always going back. What do you want to keep? You want to keep Spirit Leech or Glimpse?
I would rather keep Spirit Leech.
Okay.
I prefer Glimpse later in the game when I have more mana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is
turn 5 and up.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I would have kept Glimpse if I was keeping one, just for the counteract all their removal.
Yeah.
But Leech being a warm body is very relevant. Also, not being able to be countered like the Glimpse is if you get stuck trying to do it first.
It's just draw 2.
I probably would keep the Butcher and just get rid of all 3.
Okay.
Just try to do the busted stuff and not get bricked up. But let's keep the Leech and see what happens. So we end up with Merciless Hunter, Thresh, Ravenous Butcher, Spirit Leech. And we still have a 1 or 2 draws though to hit the Butcher. Even if we don't, it's really not. You're not dead.
It's not that bad.
You're not out of
Ezreal Draven's first play is going to be on turn 3.
Thresh never lives. Thresh is
dying.
Going to be Culling Strike a million% of the time. It's the only card it hits, basically. They don't care about a Ravenous Butcher. They have a bunch of ways to kill that.
Yeah, you literally just sit there with Culling Strike in your hand the entire game and just wait for your opponent to play Thresh.
Yeah, and thus I sit with Thresh in my hand basically the whole game waiting to play it because I won't play it out. Because you'll just play it, they'll kill it mana efficiently, and then just start running you over.
I'll hold Thresh and then I'll have Glimpse and Thresh and I just won't play Thresh till I have Glimpse up because I know it's getting cold.
And it's it's still bad. It's still so bad. I'll be I'll play out Thresh because I have this Glimpse here. It's well, you just spent 7 mana to their 3 mana, and you used 2 cards and then drew 2 to their 1 card, and so it's not particularly amazing. Okay, do we have one more?
Great hand, but not the worst. Yeah, let's do one more.
Okay, so this time we got Black Spear, Ravenous Butcher, Doomkeeper, Glimpse.
I would probably keep Butcher, Doomkeeper, Glimpse.
Yeah, I would probably keep the same, no matter if we were attacking first or attacking second. If we're attacking first, I play Doomkeeper and just hit them. I don't think I'm butchering, depending on what else is in my hand. If we're attacking second, I'll probably go Doomkeeper, Butcher, then open again.
Then probably open, yeah.
Again, depending on what.
Oh, and then you hold up Glimpse.
Yeah, then you hold up Glimpse.
The Mystic Shot or whatever.
Yeah, so we reroll the Black Spear. We get a Rite of Calling.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not awesome. We really wanted a 2-drop.
Yeah.
But,
this is a fine hand.
To find one.
Black Spear is very good in the matchup. Late game Ezreal is one of the best ways they have of finishing you before you can throw a Nasus at them. Draven can be kind of annoying. Black Spear just kind of deals with everything.
Yeah. I don't want it in my opener.
But don't want it in my opener, yes.
Not mad to draw it again.
Exactly. Not unhappy with this hand. I think this is a totally acceptable hand. Okay, what do we got up next?
Let's go to... we could do TLC, but basically for TLC, it's just try to be aggressive and not play into Avalanche.
Yeah, let's do TLC though. I think there's some nuances to that matchup. So if we're against TLC, we've got Doomkeeper, Vile Feast, Atrocity, Nasus. If I'm on the play,
just keeping Doomkeeper.
Yeah, if we're attacking first, I would keep Doomkeeper.
Yeah.
If we're attacking second, I want to keep Doomkeeper.
I would mulligan it. Yeah, one thing to note, because we haven't seen it yet, is Reaper. I don't really like Reaper in this matchup.
No. It's
Dies to Avalanche takes too long to get going. In order to get Reaper to be a threat, you have to play so much into an Avalanche already because you have to be slaying things.
Exactly.
You have to be playing your Butchers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Your Spirit Leech.
Yeah, the way to beat them is to make their Avalanches super awkward. One of the best things to do is to put out your Curse Keeper and then just not sack it. So that
just keep it.
So that way they Avalanche your team and you just get a 4-3 and you just keep applying pressure. Okay, so we'll pretend like we're on the play. We'll keep the Doomkeeper. We roll the other 3. We've got Ravenous Butcher, Thresh. So this is maybe one of the rare instances where I probably would go Doomkeeper into Ravenous Butcher on 1, and then kind of just keep hitting them with that. And I would only play stuff out that has 3 toughness or more until they
until we
avalanche.
see an avalanche dealt with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. And then, Thresh is actually Thresh can be very good depending on the board state for this deck, because you can often make it so that okay, if you cast Avalanche, I can probably level my Thresh on my turn.
Yeah, I just played a game today against TLC where I just had a bunch of fodder out, and then I dropped a Thresh, and they wiped my board, and I leveled Thresh, but then I got a 4/4 Nasus, but it was still good enough. We still got there.
It still got there. There you go.
So Thresh is
stoked about double Thresh, but whatever.
Thresh is great like that. That's the kind of the game that you play with them. Between killing all your dirtily units that nobody cares about and not. Okay, so another hand, we have Glimpse Beyond, Merciless Hunter, Baka Reaper, and Nasus.
Definitely mulliganing Nasus, probably also mulliganing Glimpse Beyond. I'm not stoked about Reaper, but it's our only early play, so I'm not sure if we can afford to mulligan it. How do you feel about this?
If we're attacking first, I would keep it. If we were attacking second, I'd throw it back.
You would mulligan it. Okay.
So let's say that we're attacking second. So we throw the Reaper back. We keep the Merciless Hunter because it has 3 toughness.
Mm-hmm.
We end up with Fading Icon, Reaper, Vile Feast, Merciless Hunter. So yeah, I would just jam Reaper, Fading Icon, try to get in damage. I would probably hold up on the Hunter until they've dealt with those two. If I could. Vile Feast is almost dead in the matchup. It can maybe pick off the 2/1 at the Avarosan Sentry or something.
Yeah, that's about as good as it gets for that.
Yeah. Okay. Third hand, we have 2 Merciless Hunters, Doomkeeper, Ravenous Butcher. This is an interesting one.
Probably mulligan 1 Merciless Hunter and keep the rest, I think.
Yeah, I would do the same no matter if we're attacking first or second.
I think it's on both, yeah.
I'm just going to try...
If we're attacking first, I'd just go Doomkeeper attack. If we're attacking second, I go Doomkeeper Butcher.
Yeah. Yeah, I do the same.
Same as before, yeah.
Yeah, don't forget that, 1, they don't always have Avalanche. And 2, the what is it? The Landmark can only come down on 4. So you can get a lot of damage in if they have that instead of Avalanche. You can really pressure them. So we throw the 1 Merciless Hunter back. We keep the other Merciless Hunter, Doomkeeper, Ravenous Butcher, and we get a Rite of Calling, which is it's fine.
We'll draw some fodder eventually.
Yeah. Do we have one more against TLC?
Nope, that's it. We are up against aggro.
They're all kind of the same. Spiders, discard aggro, the Noxious, the Shurima, burn.
Let's say it's spiders or something. Full mull.
Yeah, so we have 2 Black Spears and 2 Nasus, full mull.
You got to get on the board.
We end up with Curse Keeper, Glimpse Beyond, Rite of Calling, Fading Icon. Actually, not a bad hand. Totally fine.
It's not bad at all.
Fading Icon will suck up a lot. You can get the Curse Keeper down, use a Rite to sack it, or maybe a Glimpse.
Mm-hmm. These aggro decks, you get so many slays so fast because they have to attack you.
Yeah.
And you're pretty good at getting on board and blocking. So, Rite of Calling, not bad. All right, see another one.
We've got Black Spear, Spirit Leech, Fading Icon, Rite of Negation.
I just keep Fading Icon here.
Yeah, keep Fading Icon. It's great in the matchup. Everything else is too slow.
Mm-hmm.
We end up with Curse Keeper, Glimpse Beyond, Fading Icon, Ravenous Butcher. Pretty solid hand.
Not bad.
Yeah, would rather have one of the 2 drops be a 1 drop. But totally
fine.
Or
a Vile Feast or Black Spear.
Yeah, Vile Feast is really good in those matchups. Okay.
Not bad at all, though.
Yeah, totally fine. Next hand we have Baka Reaper, Nasus, Atrocity, Spirit Leech.
I keep Reaper, and then I mulligan everything else. I just block with it, usually. It just trades as soon as possible. I just don't want to take damage.
Yeah, just don't take damage. Try to be as wide as possible. So we keep the Reaper. Everything else goes back. We get Fading Icon, Ravenous Butcher, Vile Feast, Baka Reaper. That's the nuts, basically. That's
good luck losing with this hand.
Yeah, you'd have to try pretty hard. This hand's basically the nuts.
Yeah, this hand's crazy because not only do you get to just defend against everything, you go Reaper, Fading Icon, Butcher, and you can block just about anything. But then you're swinging back for a ton.
Yeah, I've had hands like this recently against these aggro decks, and I'll be turn 6, and I'm still at 20. I'm I'm beating them. I'm beating them down. Yeah,
Yeah, you're like, haha.
You out aggro
Look
them.
at me. I am the beatdown now.
Okay, let's do one more.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's do one more against aggro.
Quick ones.
Because that one was kind of a brick. Okay, this one we have Fading Icon, Spirit Leech, Glimpse Beyond, Ravenous Butcher. I would send back the Glimpse Beyond and the Spirit Leech again, keeping the Fading Icon and the Ravenous Butcher. That's pretty much what you want. And then we get Merciless Hunter, Rite of Calling. So pretty solid. We have turn 2, Fading Icon, Ravenous Butcher, turn 3, Merciless Hunter. You're stopping a lot of aggression.
Yep. Yeah, I like the hand. And then like having a Thresh on 5 or like Nasus on 6 can be like really, really good. That helps you turn the corner against these aggro decks, which you definitely want to do because they will like eventually just burn you out. You don't have a lot of healing, just a 3 Vile Feast. So you do have to like kill them in a quick-ish manner. And having like one champ will usually get you there. And it doesn't really matter which one, because if you play like Thresh, you're going to get Nasus pretty quickly in these matchups. If you play Nasus, it's probably already going to be pretty large because they are attacking into you.
100%. Yeah, make sure you, just because you stabilize the board at like whatever 6, 7, 8, 9 life or whatever, like they got a lot of reach. They can all of the decks, they can burn you out. All 3 of the aggro decks that we typically see. Okay, now we're gonna go play a couple games on the ladder. Zoe Vi Acel. This is
the full Targon deck.
Oh mama.
This is rough.
This is super rough. All right, I'm gonna throw all
ship
this
it
back.
all. We gotta be quick. Yeah,
this is way too slow. I don't hate some of this late game stuff against them, but that's like really slow. All right, we need a 2 drop. What do you
want to start off with?
There you go.
Nice. Ooh, even better. No Zoe. Merciless Hunter does like some serious work against this deck. Butcher.
I just go with both. Do you ever just go with just one?
Oh yeah, sometimes I do actually just go with one. I
think we don't.
But I'm pretty happy to get Goat off the field.
Yeah, and like more importantly, we just need to like start getting damage in.
Yeah, we don't have the luxury in this matchup. This is a triple hush, like 18 invoke matchup. I'd probably just play Keeper here.
I think we just take it.
Yeah,
and then
that's fine.
I think we go Glimpse, and then they play something, and we like Merciless Hunter.
Good chance you get hushed.
I'm always surprised. Like I never see this actually get hushed. I'm always waiting.
Because most people are like, "I'll save it for Nasus."
And I mean, you know what? If they do it, I mean, it's a pretty big blowout, but it does open up Nasus, which is not nothing.
Later, yeah. Dunekeeper's a really good draw. That like Dunekeeper plus Merciless Hunter puts so much pressure on the board because you can drag with the soldier.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay, we can still do a. What are they? They're Targon P and Z, huh?
Yeah, they probably have like Pale.
So if we pull them far left, they go up to 20, but then they take like a bunch.
An
actual metric poop ton.
That is the correct amount. Yeah. The question is, do we go after it with like the 4/3 in trade, or do we just grab it with the soldier?
I think we just do this.
Okay, I think that's totally fine. If the deck didn't have Pale Cascade, I would definitely grab it with the 4/3 every single time. But getting Pale Cascaded is kind of rough.
I mean, here's the thing: like we could just trade with it later.
Yeah.
Why not just 7 smash him? Yeah, smash him in the face for damage. Get him into Atro range.
It's still vulnerable. Okay, so here we just block with Dunekeeper and Vile Feast it, right? Like,
yeah.
Then also we can drag the other one with the spider. Unless you want to trade. With Butcher. Not really.
Again, they still have Pale.
Mm-hmm. Nice. What is Nasus at currently?
6.
So we can go full aggression and like Vile Feast something again, butcher it, go Nasus, drag one with the spider, and just get in there. Or we can play it a little slower. What are you thinking?
Oh!
Or we could just win the game.
We'll just take it. That's how you get to top 20 on the ladder. Yeah, so I don't think I would have gone Nasus. I think I would have gone Spider and then played the 3-2 and then attacked like
and just
that.
Open. Yeah, I think that's probably the best line.
That's supposed to be like a really bad matchup for us. But a lot of these Targon piles, like they're just very awkward.
They just stumble. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really strange to see.
Yeah, that's one reason why I like the ones with Diana. Not because I like Diana, but because then I can play the 2-1, Lunari Dustbringer or whatever it's called. I just played 3 of those or whatever, and like all of a sudden my starts are a lot less awkward when I can trade with the Butcher on like 1.
Yeah.
It also makes Spacey Sketcher like way better.
Yeah. Yeah, having those early drops really changes everything. Stolen Conch on the Pirates.
So Conch plays the Pirates list with 3 parlay, and Vile Feast won't kill anything. He plays no X1 toughness units.
Yes.
Is it still worth keeping? Probably not.
No, I typically don't keep it against any Pirates list.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, wait. So he doesn't play like the 2-1, the 2-1 for 1 that pings, or none of that.
Nope.
Huh. I don't even know if I want Merciless Hunter.
You want to keep Hunter? I don't think we do.
All right, we're yellow.
Maybe if we were attacking on 4, because then we could get like Misfortune. But
I mean, we're attacking on 3. Ooh, that's not bad.
It stands nice.
Don't hate.
Ooh. I kind of want to go Reaper here.
So we could go Reaper, then next turn we could go Dunekeeper, Reaper, Butcher.
Yeah.
Dunekeeper's a lot of damage.
Yes, but you know what else is a lot of damage? Two power Reapers, a Dunekeeper, and a Butcher.
All right, I think I would have gone Dunekeeper hit for 4, and then on their turn I would have gone Reaper, and then hope that I drew into like another one of the 2 drops, and then
Butchered.
He
switched versions.
We got outplayed.
He switched versions. Just too bad at this game. I really like this line though, because if our opponent develops here instead of opening, we just play Dunekeeper. Okay, yeah. I probably just take this Slay.
This is close.
I don't want to take this damage.
This is really close. Oh yeah. So you're saying block, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I thought you were saying take it, but you said take the Slay. I was like, I don't want to take damage.
Take the Slay. Yeah. I was like, no, I don't want to take this damage. Yeah, Reaper, Dunekeeper, Butcher, get there. Obnoxious. Maybe we wait then.
Oh.
Because we can wait for Butcher, go Butcher, Spear. We can no longer do that.
Yeah, once this guy came down, we were going.
Oh, that's true. We lose the Sand Soldier.
Put it in their face.
Okay, sure. I also don't mind this because if they play a Misfortune, we get to Black Spear her.
Yeah, if we didn't draw this
We're
Vile
assuming there would be
Feast,
a block.
things would have been a little bit different. If they go for like a removal spell here, that'd be sweet. We get to Glimpse.
I mean, it's Pirates. I doubt it.
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? Like Fervor?
Well,
Butcher?
they have
Unlikely.
the parlay.
That's true. Okay, I just shoot that.
Yeah,
just Black Spear. Take the opportunity. You're not gonna get many spots where you get to Black Spear before combat.
Yes. So Misfortune, Gangplank, both very good. Not unhappy about this. I think we just pop that guy right now.
I think we just if Conch has to Fervor while we're at like 19, I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
And like if you don't also if it wastes your entire turn. Yeah, like this is so good for us.
Yeah.
Just play our 2-drop. Just stonewall this board.
Yeah.
It's so good.
As you can see, like we're playing against a dedicated aggro deck, and yet we are going toe to toe with them, if not like more aggressive.
We're ahead on tempo for sure. Oh, Leech is so good. So Gangplank might come down this turn. So I think just attacking with your 2/3 power units is probably where I would go. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't hate it. I'm thinking what happens if we go with all 3 and they block 3/3 the 2/1 and we glimpse it. And they get the block here. They take
then
3.
we're just not casting Spirit Leech. Is that any better?
Let's see. Gangplank's still a ways away. The problem with Spear Leech and all these 1 toughness things is like a Misfortune or something comes down, it kind of like blanks them.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to get some damage in, and then I want to draw cards because like if we find Nasus, we put them in a tough spot real fast.
Yeah. So it looks like there might be a Misfortune. Oh, that's interesting.
Yep. I mean, even if it is Misfortune, like
yeah, we just block and glimpse some stuff.
Yeah.
There she is.
Not ideal, but we have a lot of life.
Not the end of the world.
Yeah. That doesn't really help much.
Yeah, so now we don't have any good blocks. Man. Give us a unit with more than 1 toughness.
Right. I still think we Fading Icon.
Yeah.
And then
just get a bunch of
block
glimpses.
a bunch of stuff in Glimpse.
Yeah.
Probably just catch both of them in, actually. Is Vile Feasting worth it here?
I don't think so. I think we just double glimpse.
I don't think so either. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Trade some small stuff. This is a lot of damage.
That's a little too much damage. Yeah, let's block. Maybe another one. And just glimpse.
Yeah. So we're targeting 2 different things. Okay.
It's a lot of cards coming in.
All right. Yeah, we need some good ones. A Thresh wouldn't be too bad. We could go pick off a Misfortune.
Yep. Leech is not great. Okay.
Huh.
Not phenomenal at all.
I still think we can make some stuff work, though.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we just take our turn.
I think we take our turn, yeah. Merciless Hunter would be nice.
Nasus,
obviously. Spirit Leech, less nice. Yeah, that's pretty brutal. Kind of getting kicked around here. I think we start by leeching.
I wonder what about this though? What if we what if we start with Doomkeeper into like a Ravenous Butcher? What if we Atro the Fading Icon into the Misfortune?
Yeah, we could definitely do that.
I don't love it.
Yeah. No, it's not awesome.
But let's see. We'll end up with like 3 units. 3. So yeah, again, we'll have a Vile Feast.
And we have Vile Feast next turn. Yeah. I think it's fine.
I think we can start here and then maybe see what they do. They're probably not going to play whatever this card is because they have a full board.
Okay, Butcher. Ravenous Flux, not Ravenous Flux, sorry. Noxian Fervor just crushes us.
So the alternate play is going Leech on the 1/1. But then it's like then we're looking for the 1 Spear or a Merciless Hunter.
We can't cast a champion. I think let's play Butcher maybe. I think the Atrocity is the correct play.
Do we put it on Parlay?
Parlay's slow.
Oh, okay.
What if he cast Parlay? That'd be so nice.
Oh.
Just like, thanks. An Atrocity anyway. Yeah, God, this feels awful.
This is so rough.
Our hand got so awkward.
Yeah, these 4 draws were not... Oh, that's not good.
No. Okay, thank God.
Does he have another one,
thank
though?
God. He just drew another Misfortune. Okay.
Well, that's not...
I mean, that's still horrendously bad.
That's not great.
Vile Feast is probably going to just barely keep us alive. I haven't done any math because, whatever. But
yeah, it looks like we survive at 1.
So we block the 3/3 with the 4/1.
This still sucks up 2 either way, right?
Can you eye? I didn't do the math.
Oh, that's -1.
So
because we vial this, and so it changes it by 2.
Yeah, so it's -2. Yeah. So we go down to 1, which is exactly where we want to be against the burn deck, right? That Misfortune was so bad. If we had anything with 2 toughness, we were just fine.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have attacked with that 3/2.
Perhaps. Not dead.
Literally everything in their deck kills us, but not
Everything kills
dead
us.
yet.
Gotta be gotta be Spirit Leech, right?
Yeah, I think we're trying to get like a Nasus win going here. Oh, that's not terrible. Please, sir. Please somehow keep drawing things that don't kill us. Like
Yeah.
we go
Might as well
keeper.
just play it. I think he has Demolitionist.
Oh,
Nope, it's Butcher.
not
Thank
dead.
God,
Not
not
dead yet.
dead.
Not dead yet.
Okay.
Hmm.
I think we cast that. So we can cast that and Merciless Hunter and whatever champion we draw.
Yeah.
I would not mind drawing our one of Rite of Negation at any point. That'd make
Yeah.
me feel a lot more safe.
Okay.
Big
It's a
boy.
big boy.
Big boy.
Yeah, we can't Spirit Leech.
So maybe just play Nasus.
No, they got us.
Darn. GG.
Yeah, I mean, most of the deck got us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we stumbled.
Yeah.
We had just all X1s and he drew Misfortune.
All right, let's do one. Let's do one more. That first one I feel like was kind of like almost a non-game.
I mean, it was. We just whiffed on all the good cards for a little bit.
Oh no,
like, our hand was very good.
I meant the first one where our opponent just conceded.
Oh, the first.
Technically,
one.
we just beat them down pretty hard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We did what we were supposed to do.
Yeah. So looking back, had we not attacked with that 3/2, I think everything kind of changes because then we're able to just block the Misfortune. We're not forced to Atrocity that turn. We can develop. We're not taking a bunch of damage to the next attack or nearly as much.
I totally agree. We don't have to Atrocity. We develop into like a huge board. Yeah, I think if we don't attack with that 3/2, we easily win that game. I played against this guy so much. This is Iterative Improvement. The Kyrian Sumpworker deck.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up because I have no idea what this is.
Oh, it's the 1/2 elusive. That when you play another one,
it
like forms together.
I know what that card is, but I mean, like, what else is in this deck?
Doom Beast.
Okay, so we'll get it up here. It looks like 2 Nocturnes.
Fearsome Spider.
Yeah, some iterative improvements, Sump Workers, Stygian Onlookers, Boom Crew Rookies, Dusk Rider, a 1 of, Get Excited, a 1 of, Atrocity, a 1 of, 3 Mystic Shots.
I'd probably just, I'd probably just keep Icon and Mulligan the rest. We would really like to find a way to deal with the Sump Worker, like Spear. Wow, that hand is like the same but worse.
That happens sometimes.
Oh, look at that! We literally drew all the same cards. Atrocity, Vilepy's Thresh.
I would have. You know what? This might have been a spot where we just go turn 1.
Dunekeeper. I think that would be the right spot. Yeah, because they're like. Because Dunekeeper's not doing anything. Like, we don't have anything to sacrifice the soldier with. We have plenty of fodder. Easy block.
Play? Oh, maybe not. What is this?
The +2/+2?
Why?
No,
why
that doesn't
that?
make any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Take some damage.
All right.
This deck can burn you out because of the Sump Workers.
Yeah, they also have some burn and Unto Dusks and
yeah, Doom Beast.
Doom Beast. Oh, there's a Black Spear.
It's pretty nice.
But our hand's a little awkward.
A little weird. Yeah, let's play Dunekeeper, see what happens. Do we Vile Feast? Yeah, I guess we don't have to do that because our Sand Soldier's gonna die.
Yeah, we'll just go. If they block here, then we can Vile after.
Sure.
Okay. Do we double
Don't
Vile?
Black Spirit. We can, but we need to make sure our opponent's not sump working. So I would just pass.
Okay.
Like, if they get the posse and we can't like kill it, we're in rush.
We can double vial the posse also.
Yes, we can.
Forgot about that. And yeah, and this thing is like, we'll just block it again. It's not really the end of the
Easy
world.
block. Yeah, like this open attack is. I was gonna say the open attack is really good for us because we just get to block and then develop Thresh. Doom Beast.
Doom Beast.
We still play Thresh.
It does give them a
but
chance
we might get Sump Worker.
to Sump Worker.
Yeah, so maybe we pass one more time. Because
Yeah.
if our opponent responds with if our opponent goes Doom Beast, then we can Thresh.
Yeah, and frankly, if they want to just Mystic Shot past the turn, like, all right,
deal. Yeah, thank you.
not attack with a Boom Crew. Yeah. For sure they're going to do something. So that's kind of like a good spot, I think, where people don't realize that they can pass, and just like it's totally fine, very safe. Oh, okay. Let's draining us like. This was my instinct, but like, do we want to just maybe? I don't know.
We could definitely. Yeah, I think it's kind of tough. I mean, we want things to die because we want Thresh to level up, right?
Yeah, I feel like we're getting close-ish. Like this is 2.
Yeah, it's just
3-ish, 4-ish.
It's okay. I think we could do this because we have plenty of blockers.
Yeah, I like this. I want to get the Slays off. We can pull stuff with Thresh.
Mm-hmm. I don't want a Black Spear.
Okay, we want Black Spear.
Really want to make sure we're not dead to a posse because like it won't be just one. It'll be like 3.
I think we just rip this Glimpse.
I think we just start with Glimpse. Thresh is at
2.
2.
Yeah.
Which is not 6.
This is 3.
Some pro math there.
We got all the Vile Feasts. I think we go Icon.
Icon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we just go Icon again.
Yeah.
Smash some
I'll
face.
Put some pressure on them. If we can kill them with Atrocity, like down. Yeah,
if they have to start using their removal on our guys, we don't hate that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is totally fine.
Backing for 10. We can technically Black Spear that, but they must have some more stuff.
Yeah. That ain't it.
We're starting to get low.
If they don't like pump it again, they're planning on or like shoot. Jesus Christ, that's 3 Antidusks.
That's all 3. So it puts us to 6. They go to 10.
So I think we just say okay. If they're not pumping it again, they're planning on sump working and like planning for it to kill Thresh.
And like so I think here's the thing: like if they use a burn spell on this, like right? Like they're probably gonna we're at 6. They're trying to kill us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would rather them throw it at Thresh. We don't need Thresh.
Yeah.
Right. We have a full board in Atrocity.
Well,
Thresh is at 4.
That kind of sucks. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I don't think we need to use a Vile Feast there to deny the card. A random Nightfall card is not really what I'm worried about here.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, no, you can get hit by like a bad one.
That was a good draw. That was a good draw.
That was a very good draw.
So because
like either we get the champ or we force a burn spell on like a prey. We could sack a mana gem, but I don't think we want to do that.
I think we do mana gem.
No, we want something to die, so we activate Black Spear because they just ephemeral.
Well, we can vial.
We don't want to do that. I mean, maybe we do later, but like the card, the Islander card, is Sump Worker. That's what they just gave ephemeral.
Okay.
Because so the next card is going to be they're going to go Sump Worker. Sump Worker. Dude, like I'm assuming this is worst case scenario, right? Anything else we don't give a shit about.
Okay, if they do that though, we have Spear and double Vile Feast.
Yeah, but I want to activate Spear by casting Right.
But if they counter by killing our thing, then we don't have a big boom boom to finish them off with.
I mean, we are killing the Islander. They're low on mana, and we're killing whatever else they play with Black Spear. We attack in and then Atrocity. I think this is the safest play.
Okay.
I need you to trust me.
All right, let's do it. Cross your fingers. I mean, we're at 6, right? So any burn that goes at that
I'm totally okay
is
if they throw a Mystic
probably
Shot in my face.
fair. That's fair.
We didn't even draw a big boom boom. That's big sad.
Little medium boom boom.
Small boom boom. Is that the one that was made off the Unspeakable? Yep.
Unspeakable. Oh, okay.
We can Thresher. Right?
I think we're threshing. Yeah.
Yeah, because we can still Black Spear. They're playing Sumpworker. They're gonna go Sumpworker.
Oh, I see. They're gonna want because it got reduced.
Yeah, because it costs 1 now. Yep, there it is.
So here's the question: do we let it flip?
I think the answer is yes.
I think the answer is yes.
Can
also.
kill them on the backswing.
Yeah.
Normally, the answer is no.
Yeah, normally you don't
just
want
kill
to
this
flip
one
because the future ones are flipped.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're gonna use
because
a
this one's ephemeral. And yeah, then they just Black Spirit, get that shit out of my face.
Get out, GTFO.
We can vial the 2/1, and we're just cracking for a bunch.
Block
with Thresh, take no damage. Yeah, we just clear their horrible
board.
Clear the whole board. Clear the whole board, and then open.
Yeah, weird attack here. I don't understand this really. Maybe they have another Unspeakable Horror.
I think hoping we won't block with Thresh. I think their hands Mystic Shot something, and they're hoping to get in just a little more damage. But we ain't gonna let it happen.
Yeah, when you play decks like this, sometimes you just got a YOLO. Play into your routes.
Mm-hmm.
Looking pretty good.
Slam. Get in there with the Prey too. Really shell him.
Yeah, okay. Let's go. You can go on the end. Prey first. Prey is leading the fuck. Prey is leading the charge. Yeah. Hiya! Get in there for 0 first. So they have to deal with 2 units, I think. Let's see, where does this put them? At 1, so we can glimpse.
Yeah,
prevents the heal.
Start with glimpse. Mm-hmm. We can Atrocity next turn if we want to. Yep.
Double check the eye. Okay, still dead. Let's go, Prey. Get in there.
Come on, Prey. Yeah.
Got him. All right, we did it.
Too scared of Prey. I understand.
We did it. Well, there you have it. It's just some interesting games. The ladder is a little bit all over the place right now, as you can see. I haven't seen decks like this.
People are trying things
all
out
season.
Seasonals.
All right. Any closing thoughts, Bay? Anything that we haven't covered already about Thresh Nasus?
Nope. No, I think we did some good covering. If you do want some more Thresh Nasus content, I did just do a YouTube video on my channel.
There you go. Also, you can hit up us in the Discord. I've seen people in some of our comments asking where the Discord link is. You have to show more in the description, and then it's down there. We got all the links.
Yeah.
And if there's any other deck techs or matchups or anything else you guys want to see, let us know down in the description. We're getting to them one by one as we go. We got a list.
Don't let us know in the description.
That's right.
Let us know in the comments, please.
Same. All right, that's us. That's it for us. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.
Thank you so much for listening to the Mastering Runeterra podcast with Jay and Bay. New episodes come out every Friday. If you haven't done so already, be sure to join us on Discord, check out the Patreon team, and have a look at our deck database on Twitter at Master Runeterra. Links to all of these can be found in the show notes and description.